Welcome to Uncommon Roots Homestead! Hello and welcome to Uncommon Roots Homestead. Today you all are getting the unique pleasure of being led on a garden tour by yours truly. My name is Kevin and I will be walking you through the garden today. Ashley, my wife, does a lot of these. She does all of these. She does all the garden tours. But today we wanted to do something a little different and give you a garden tour through my eyes. So it will be a journey into mystery for all of us. I will talk to you a little bit about the garden itself, how it came to be, how we built it. I will tell you some unique things about it. Hopefully share some funny things with you, as well as just some of the things that hold more meaning or value to me, or things that I really enjoy about the garden that might be a little different from what Ashley enjoys about it. So come on with me and we'll take a look and walk through. We'll start at the entrance. So this sign was given to us and handmade by a sweet friend named Taylor. Her and her husband John live near us, and they made this sign for us. We absolutely love it. And I would be remiss if I did not show you the naked trellis. It's Ashley's signature piece here. It is still naked, the way we like things. So walking through the garden, there's a lot of tomatoes. They're everywhere. I wasn't even sure if I liked tomatoes that much before we started this garden, but I've learned to love them. They're my favorite food now, hands down. Now, I do really like them. I like the variety that we grow. I like the preserving you can do with tomatoes. Those aspects of it I really like. So already this summer we've preserved way more sauce and soup, tomato soup, salsa, a lot of the things we eat regularly and don't really think much about. You just go buy it from the store. We've been able to make, ourselves now because we have such an abundance of tomatoes. Ashley does a lot with not only like the production tomatoes, but also the cherry tomatoes too. Our kids really love the cherry tomatoes. So we're getting a lot of use out of them. I complain because I'm a curmudgeon, but I actually really like the tomatoes. They've been great to have. It'll be awesome in the winter when we're trying to figure out meal ideas and we just have like a can of sauce that we can make spaghetti with or put on top of pizza, which we've done this summer as well. But being able to have that canned and in our pantry has been great. So although I was hesitant with the amount of tomato plants that we planted initially, I've actually really enjoyed it, and I see the brilliance behind it. Don't tell my wife, but it was a genius move. So really thankful for that. Thankful for just kind of the abundance that we'll have that'll kind of carry us through the winter. So one thing I wanted to do on this tour was show you, as I mentioned, some things that are unique to me that might be special to me. Ashley has her way of going about the garden tour and tells you about everything we're growing and shows you her pretty flowers and all that. But we thought it might be nice to have a little bit of a different perspective and to hear some things maybe you haven't heard before, when Ashley goes through her garden tour. So for me, one of the things that's really special about the garden is the ground cherries. So if you can see, these little lantern-like things are called ground cherries. I'm not doing a great job showing you. Welcome to my garden tour. Oh, there we go. So those little lantern things are called ground cherries, which you may or may not have tried before. Ashley and I, last year when we first planted them, had never tried them, but we're pretty excited about them. We grew them. We tried our first one, loved it. Our daughter, Isla, this is why it's special to me, absolutely loves them. Ashley will sometimes pick ground cherries and then leave a little basket on the counter for her that she can find in the morning and just loves it. It's like, what's not to love? It's like opening a present. So I'll pull one out for you. So the way you know they're ready is they actually fall off the plant. So they're called ground cherries. They fall off the plant and they come out in these little lanterns, which are fun, adorable. And you can open them up and you can see the fruit in there. I'm gonna pop them in your mouth. They're really sweet. So they're from the tomatillo family, which, if you know what tomatillos look like, they're like these, but bigger. So similar idea. And it tastes a little bit like a tomato, but it's extra sweet. There's a lot of different varieties of ground cherries. We actually, when we bought this property, found ground cherries growing up through the gravel driveway. So that was kind of special, but then we tasted the ground cherries and they tasted like dirt and gravel. So different varieties will taste different, but I'll have to ask Ashley what variety these are. I'm zero help. I just know them as ground cherries. So ask some questions, follow up with Ashley, see what kind of varieties we have growing this year. They're very good. They're very sweet. Our daughter loves them. So that's one reason why this is special to me, is that these plants just remind me of my daughter, and seeing her face and seeing how happy she is when she opens those up and eats them. And she'll destroy like a whole basket of them. So we rarely get to eat them and enjoy them, but seeing our daughter happy makes me really happy. This is Ashley's lavender. She grew this from seed, which is really exciting because I know that's really hard to do. So looking at these makes me proud and happy that I married a woman who is smarter and better at things than I am. Look at that. She's got lavender growing. Right behind that is our ginger, which I absolutely love ginger. So I really love like Asian cooking, really love Thai food, Vietnamese. And there's a lot of fresh ginger in a lot of those recipes, so having our own fresh ginger from the garden will be incredible. So going along the garage wall of the garden, we'll come up to one of our trellises here. These squash make me uncomfortable. They're called Tromboncino, and I don't really like the way they look or the shape. I'll let you figure out why. And along this trellis, we've got these growing all over the place. They've been really prolific, just really long and giant and weird looking. They taste pretty good though. They're pretty mild, pardon me, squash. And then down here, these aren't climbing really well, but Ashley's got some like noodle beans, I think they're called. Also kind of odd looking. These kind of remind me, I don't know if you guys have watched or used to watch like Guinness Book of World Records when that was on, when I was a kid. But these beans kind of remind me of the world record holder for the longest fingernails. Right? The guy who would like carry his fingernails in a bag so they wouldn't get broken and just grew them out for years. It's dedication. But that's what these remind me of. Enjoy. In all seriousness though, those beans do taste really good. So they're good in like stir fries. I like to just pick them and eat them. They're so long that pretty much holds you off for the entire day, which is great. So we'll walk through the rest of the garden here, spin you around, do it a good old fashioned walk and talk. Behind me, welcome to the jungle. Here we have our sweet potatoes. We've got squash and melons growing all through here. At the back, where am I? Back there. You'll see our sunflowers are starting to bloom. I'll take you over there in a second. But sunflowers are popping up, which are really pretty. I love sunflowers. On the other side, we have corn, which is starting to really take shape, and we're getting a lot of cobs of corn on there, which is great. Over here we have our eggplant plant. We are getting some eggplant there. I don't remember what variety that is. Once again, I'm zero help, but it's like a longer, thinner variety of eggplant. They taste really good. I grew up in an Italian family, and eggplant parmesan is one of my favorite dishes. I haven't made it too often because we don't usually get enough eggplant to actually make it, but I'm hoping we get a lot of eggplant this year so I can make some of that. We'll see. My pride and joy is the pepper bed. So right here, that long bed is full of different varieties of peppers. Ashley's probably mentioned before that I really like making like hot sauce. I like pickling jalapenos and banana peppers and doing candied jalapenos and banana peppers as well. They're what I call cowboy peeners. So you guys can use that name if you want. It's a pretty good one. It's fun when you make cowboy peeners and then give them away to people. They don't know what they're eating. So that's kind of fun. But this bed full of peppers. So we've got a lot of different varieties. Some of the bigger plants, like right here, these are our poblano peppers, which I like to make salsas with that. I make a corn salsa, which has poblano pepper in it. I like to make that a lot. There's some rows of jalapenos along here. On the other side, we have Sugar Rush peach peppers, which are from Baker Creek. Those always turn out really well. They're really prolific and they're great in hot sauce. So I make a Sugar Rush peach hot sauce and usually combine those with some cayenne peppers, and that is usually a hit. So I'll probably make another video. I've made a video before about canning that and making it, or maybe I made my cayenne hot sauce. I don't remember, but I may do a preservation video where I show you how to make that hot sauce. I really enjoy that. That's usually a hit with others as well, so we'll give a lot of that away. But walking down, once again, you got your jalapenos, poblanos, Sugar Rush. I've got banana peppers growing down here. We've got some Italian sweet peppers somewhere in here as well. And then these, I'll take in. These are called corbachis, which I think are, well, they're also fingernail-like, like the other ones. And then I think they're like a Turkish variety or something, but they're really good. They're sweet. I don't put them in like hot sauce or anything, but they're really good fried up with pretty much anything. I really like those on like steak sandwiches. So if you make like shaved steak, cheese steaks with like onions grilled up and then toss some of these in there, these will get really long. And the way you know they're ready is they'll turn red. So once they turn red, they're ready to roll. But these could get, I mean, we've had ones that got like almost 12 inches long. So these will continue to grow. The plant's not huge yet, but hopefully it keeps growing and is able to support these. There's some plants that I might need to like create a support system for, because some of them are starting to droop and are heavy with peppers. So I've been trying to cut off some of the peppers early, so that way the plant can get growing, devote more energy to the actual growing of the plant, so that way the plant can support more fruit as it grows. So that's what I've been trying to do. If you're experiencing similar problems, it may be worth it to harvest some fruit early so your plants can actually grow and support more weight. Also adding little trellises or various stands behind it will help. I'll take you back over to the poblanos to see what I did there. But right here, so I just turned one of these like 6-foot trellises sideways and then posted it up with some little garden stakes. And those are supporting all my poblano peppers. So that's one way to do it. We got our potatoes and a lot of weeds growing through. Honestly, the best thing we grow in our garden is weeds. They're really prolific. You can do a lot with them. Not really, they just are a nuisance and take all the energy from our other plants. But here's the potatoes. We were supposed to have rows of potatoes here. They're definitely growing. We've got to hill them up a little bit more. Ashley made a video about hilling up potatoes and why you do that. So I'll refer you to that one if you want to know why we do that. But you do have to hill your potatoes. So these are growing quite a bit outside of the actual fertilizer, or excuse me, compost and soil. So we probably need to add more and hill those out. Look at those colors. Beautiful. These are Dahlias, I believe. I never know the names of the flowers, but I like to look at them. But yeah, I think those are Dahlias. So we've got a few different kinds of Dahlias too. Got these big ones, which are really pretty. And the smaller ones, which are similar to the ones I just was showing you in the other bed. lot of different colors. They're coming in pretty good. So this plant here makes me very happy. This is basil. And honestly, Ashley and I have never successfully grown basil. I don't know why it is, but we've never been able to like have a plant take off. And this one is huge. Look at all that. And we've also got other basil too that has really taken off. So you can see this. I think that's the cinnamon basil, and then she's got a variegated basil over here. But I can't believe it. Like, we've never been able to have enough to like can pesto, which I really enjoy pesto. So being able to like can that this year and have that, I guess, well, we may not can it, but just being able to make it, you know, is really exciting. The reason I say you might not want to can pesto is because you do put Parmesan cheese in it typically, and dairy is not really something you want to can on your own. So scratch that. I don't think we'll be canning pesto, but we will make some for consumption as we go. Here's the tomato jungle. Still looking like a jungle, but we've cleared up a lot of it. We put a lot of work to kind of chop down some of the weeds and things like that, and some of the, or excuse me, not the weeds, just prune off some of the branches that were not productive, and cleared up a lot of space. But we've got tomatoes growing in here. A lot of pretty ones. These are most of our production tomatoes. So we've got big boys in there. We've got San Marzanos, all very productive, very prolific types of breeds. This entire row is sweet potatoes. There's like some squash growing through there a little bit. And this giant pumpkin plant. But like almost all of that is sweet potato plant. So if we don't get like at least 9 million sweet potatoes, I'm gonna be a little upset. Here's those sunflowers I was talking about. They're starting to bloom. These ones are a really pretty color. They're like a dark orange / red. And the bees are loving them. We started raising bees this year as well. If you see, yep. If you see that one, I think that's Dave. They're all individually named, each and every bee. So that's probably him. These sunflowers have like shot up here recently. There's the ground. And take the elevator all the way up to top of the sunflower. Really pretty. I love sunflowers. I was probably more passionate about sunflowers than Ashley was. Ashley really is like the main gardener in our house, but there's a few things that I really like. The pepper bed, that's kind of my thing. The sunflowers, like I said, I really love looking at sunflowers. A few other things. I mean, I always have a hand in the garden. You know, I constructed most of it. I water it probably more than Ashley does, but she's really the one who has the main knowledge. You guys know that I topped the tomato plants. It didn't seem to work, but I topped most of her tomato plants, so she just has a level of knowledge that I don't necessarily have, or just haven't put as much time into it. So the garden's kind of her thing. So being able to kind of take you through and see things from my perspective has been fun, but also to just show you some of the stuff that I really enjoy that makes me happy. You know, because although I don't work in the garden as much, although I don't know as much, like I still really enjoy it. I really value what we get from it. We put in a lot of hard work, me and Ashley, and sometimes Isla, our daughter. And when we get an increase out of it, you know, it's fulfilling. We know that we don't provide that increase. We put in a lot of hard work, but it's not ultimately in our hands. You know, we we are just blessed to be able to take part in it, to steward it, and then we say our prayers and hope that, you know, everything grows as we would wish. But we learn a lot of lessons from it too. You know, so even when things are not working out as well as we would have hoped, we always try to reflect and look back and see what we've learned. So one phrase that you've heard a lot probably recently is lose a little, learn a lot. Just something we've been trying to repeat to ourselves. Maybe it's a little bit of a mantra. Maybe I hear it in my nightmares at night. But either way, you know, it's just something to remind us that we may lose a little bit in this garden this year. There may not be some plants that, or there may be some plants that just may not produce like we would have hoped or had our hearts set on. But no matter what, we'll take a lesson out of that. We'll learn something from that. We'll see what we could have done better to provide a better life for that plant. And ultimately, you know, next year, hopefully, you know, do what we need to do to reap more fruit from it. So So what you saw there was me actually harvesting some of our tomatoes. So every day at this point in the summer, we're pretty much harvesting something every single day. And in this case, we needed to harvest some cherry tomatoes. A lot of them looked ripe. And some of the other tomatoes, and then also some of our peppers were ready to roll too. So I'll show you that basket. I've got it right here. But pretty decent harvest today. So we've got cherry tomatoes, standard. We've got some of these yellow pear cherry tomatoes, which if you've never had those are delicious. Like I said, I wasn't the hugest tomato fan, especially cherry tomatoes. Didn't really have any use for them, but those are really good, really sweet and delicious. Got some of these, I don't remember what they're called, but like chocolate something or other. They don't taste like chocolate, they taste like tomatoes. They're good, I guess. Got some of my babies, jalapenos. And then some of the banana peppers were ready as well. And then I got some of these solar flare ones, which I showed you. But they have such cool colors. They're pretty unique. Yeah, but that's about it. Mostly tomatoes and peppers today. So figured I'd show you a little bit of the pruning of tomatoes and getting some of those, and then some harvest. So that is pretty standard for a day. Some days we'll come home with a lot more, especially when there's like squash ready. So there's just, you know, giant squashes that we have to bring home. So today's a fairly light day in that regard. I did not wade through the forest of sweet potatoes and squashes to find those today. I probably will do that tomorrow. But that is just a kind of a beast of a job because we let the squashes and melons and sweet potatoes just kind of go crazy, which next year we'll probably plan that a little better. Hopefully. I'm gonna tell myself we're gonna plan that a little better. Who knows if we do, but we're gonna try and learn something this year. And I think that's one of the lessons we're learning is that we need to be a little bit more controlled with our squashes. Other lesson for sure is that we need to prune our tomato plants sooner rather than later, as you've seen. So those are some lessons we're already taking away. I'm sure at the end of the summer, Ashley and I will do a video where we talk about things we learned over the summer. So the farm has changed a lot this year. We purchased our land in February of 2020, and it's now July of 2021. So it's been not even a year and a half yet. And we have that whole garden. We've got 2 pigs. We've got 34 chickens right now. We've got 2 cows because our cow gave birth, a livestock guardian dog. We've added 3 cats. This has all taken place within a year and a half. So it's just crazy to me to kind of step back sometimes and like think about everything we've done. And part of me thinks we're just insane. Other parts of me are like so happy when I like step back and like look out over the land and can like see, you know, my cows eating in the pasture and the pigs rolling around in the mud, and overlook the garden and see, you know, everything that's been done. But gosh, it's been so much work. And Ashley works full-time. I'm practically working full-time right now outside of the farm. So it's just been a crazy balance, and we don't live here, which just throws a whole nother dimension into it. And it's been wild. Somehow we've been sustained. And you know, if I had one piece of advice for you know, anyone probably of a younger age, but anyone really, is to marry someone that you admire. I'm gonna get sappy. I probably should have did that disclosure before I said this, but marry someone that you admire. Because if we were doing all of this and jumping headfirst into every single thing, I might go crazy. But I have such an admiration for my wife, Ashley. Just the drive that she has. She never does anything half-heartedly. Clearly, she jumps in with both feet to everything. Whereas I, you know, dip my toes in. If you watch me get in a pool and watch her get in a pool, that tells you everything you need to know. She's cannonball, and I'm let me get in 1 inch at a time until I'm fully in. And that's kind of how we live our lives too. But gosh, I admire her so much for the things that I am not. You know, she is. She just has just a passion for things and jumps in, like I said, with both feet. And I just really admire that about her. She's one of the smartest people I know, one of the most driven people I've ever met. And, you know, I've hitched my wagon to a rocket. And it's always kept me on my toes and always made things more fun. So if you just want to watch the end of this video and this is all you take away from it, I hope that you realize that this is the most important part, is that I can just express how thankful and grateful I am that God brought Ashley into my life and that we're on this adventure together, because I've had more fun in the last year. I've been more tired in the last year than I've ever been, but I've also had more fun, you know, than I've ever had. You know, just building out this dream that essentially she had, and I've just been, you know, kind of dreaming along with, I feel like. So hopefully that wasn't too sappy for you all, but just wanted to express my admiration while I had a chance. I don't get the mic too often, but I hope you all appreciate her too. She does a lot for this farm, for this channel, for our family. So props to Ashley. She is our world. So thank you all for watching today. It's been a lot of fun taking you around, showing you my perspective of the garden, giving you my garden tour. Hopefully you laughed a little bit. Hopefully you cried a lot. And hopefully you just enjoyed it. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. Share it if you like it. Follow us on Instagram too at Uncommon Roots Homestead. And we will continue to pump out content. If you'd like to never see me again, let us know. If you'd like to see more of me, let us know. If there's anything you do want to see, throw it in the comments. And as always, please be respectful. So thank you all. You always have a space in our garden and at our farm. Thank you.